SaaS Insiders, welcome to another episode of our show. Today, I have a guest who is a serial SaaS founder. He's a founder of Fastdok, founder of Card founder of Overflow Digital Solutions, that's an agency, as well as some other businesses along his way. Today, he is with us to share the value of the feedback and how we can increase conversions and improve products through user feedback. With that said, Ayoub Moustaid, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Vlad. It's just a pleasure to be with you in this podcast, and welcome for all the listeners. We hope this podcast will be valuable for them, especially generally about the SaaS feed and especially about the feedback part. So we hope they will enjoy it.
Awesome. Maybe you can share in just a couple of words a little bit more about your background, just so that SaaS Insiders understand where you're coming from.
So I'm a software engineer in software engineering and distributed computing systems with a marketing background. So I worked for some privately held and public companies. Then I pivoted to entrepreneurial part. So I founded my company for digital solutions. We were working on service for clients like development of websites, of mobile apps, of web app. Then I pivoted again to build my own product. So we to try to serve a mass of clients, hundred and million of clients. Then working with the bilateral with one client. So I'm actually a serial digital entrepreneur working mainly on SaaS apps and mobile apps. General, this is Ayoub.
Now, what I like about it is you mentioned engineer with marketing background. Now, that's it sounds like a superpower.
Yes. So to explain it, so when you are an engineer, you can work as an employee. But when you are an entrepreneur, business guy, so you can't go only with technical. You should have a marketing part. So I focus to learn some marketing aspects, to try multiple strategies, because when you build a product, the technical side is just 10%. So the 90% is just for the marketing, how to go to market, how to bring users, how to sell, how to get revenue from those products. So mainly every entrepreneur will have his first background and another background related to marketing.
No, this is so true. This is so true. It's because mostly when I speak to people, they're non-technical founders, right? So they have some expertise in some industry and also marketing skills. So they're usually then looking for someone who is more technical to co-found something, right? You have kind of both sides. For our topic today, because it sounds a bit bold, it sounds increase conversions and improve product through user feedback, right? How exactly does user feedback help you with increasing conversions, let alone improving the product itself?
So to explain it simply and shortly, I always say that when you are focusing on user feedback, you are automatically building a product with and for customers and with and for market. So mainly when you are listening to your customers and adding or improving features based on their requirements and their needs, you will be generally and absolutely helping your product to increase the conversion. Because when we check a customer who is in the free plane, like by example in our tool, and listen to his requirements and push them inside the software, it will be a high probability that it will be converted to a paid user, because we implemented his requirements in the tool. So in a big percentage, it will be converted.
Okay, got it. I'm sure you have the whole framework you can share with SaaS Insiders on how to collect user feedback, which we will talk in just a couple minutes from now. But what do you think would be the long-term consequences of not having a specific process for collecting user feedback? So let's say I'm a SaaS founder, I build a product, I kind of dabble with feedback. I mean, I get it from here and from here, maybe from comments in my group. I don't have a very specific process for that. So what's wrong with that and how that can impact the business?
When you are like doing like this, that mean one thing, that you are not giving much importance to the feedback. And like the statistics say, 90% of startups fail. And the main reason, there is no market need for their product or their service. In other words, like they are building a product that nobody wants or nobody gonna use. And this could be a big consequence of building a product without adopting a process to collect feedback. Because mainly when you have feedback, it's like a backlog of feedback that will be later converted to a backlog of features for your product, for your improvement of the product. So it's like you are building blindly and going to market basing all your efforts on luck. If you are not taking into consideration all the feedback that should be collected. So then as a result for not having a process to collect feedback, you will be mainly in the 90% part of startups that fail, that are not listening users, that are not hearing what the users need and what is the requirement of users. So mainly and generally the startups may be losing time, money, effort for a product that's maybe not working on the market, just because a small thing that should be taken into consideration, that are the feedback of the user. And by that I put a focus mainly on the early users, because the early users feedback are the fuel of the product.
Got it. And Ayoub, correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard that you mentioned about something that user feedback helps you find what exactly people are going to use. If I understood correctly, and maybe for SaaS Insiders to hear as well, we're talking about product market fit, right? And how we can listen to users and refine it to actually
Yes.
fit exactly our product with the target audience.
Yes, because mainly when you are building a product, you are not mainly at the beginning in the product market fit.
Mhm.
But by the time and by the, it's like a wheel of continuous improvement. And in every iteration and every increment, you are adding a feature based on what your users are telling you. And every time you are putting there a feature, changing features, removing features, and this continuous improvement process will take you to build a product. Mainly it's like the market is building with you the products. It's not like you are focusing in a closed room with your laptop on your software and building for months and months, and when you go to market there is no validation, no feedback, nobody wants your product. But when you are building in parallel with the market, you are sure you are building something for the market, something for the users, something that's the input is what user wants, the output is your software.
SaaS Insiders, I hope you pick this up. Don't neglect the market. Let the market help you build a product. Build it with the market, because they will tell you exactly what they want if you ask them the right way. Ayoub, when it comes to framework for collecting feedback, if I'm a SaaS founder who have this idea about the product and I build it, but I also need to fit in the process for collecting feedback. As you said, it should be iterative, right? It should happen over and over and over again. We should improve and learn. Do you have any particular framework, any particular blueprint that you use to collect feedback on constant basis?
It's like let's take maybe a scenario as an example. Let's say you discovered maybe a pain or a problem somewhere, and you are building a software to reduce this pain or to fix this problem. So after that, you will enter in a wheel of improvement. This wheel is mainly you will be like building a minimum viable product, then putting it on the market, collecting some feedback, some insights, some data from users, and some other measures. And this will be the input for your learning and for your improvement. So you add to the products by iteration. For this, like there's multiple ways to collect feedback from users, but I used one framework that worked really for me. It was the collection of feedback through lifetime deals, because when you are in the market at the early stage, you can't know if the feedback is accurate or not. And to get the accurate feedback, like for our software, we have a freemium model. So there is some free users that came that told you the feedback, but those are considered for me as an inaccurate feedback. because you can't take a feedback that told you that your product is amazing, is great, is good. I will be using it later. This is not an accurate feedback. But when you are in the free model, you are just in the search for a framework to get feedback that are accurate. And by that, we used some lifetime deals. So lifetime deals bring you some users at the beginning without some marketing efforts or money invested in marketing, because when you are at early stage, you can't go to market with your MVP or your product, because you know that it's not strong sufficiently to be on the market. So you can't put marketing efforts, bring users, and let them churn. The first thing to do, and we done that. It was just great. We signed some contracts with some lifetime dealers. We collected feedback through them. We did have 2 contracts of lifetime deals. We collected feedback, and those feedback were really useful because they are coming from paid users.
Yeah.
And they are mainly negative. So the negative feedback, the most accurate ones, you can't go to the market with a product in 1 month and receive feedback saying that is an amazing product. You say that you know very well that it's not an amazing product. So there is some bugs, there is some errors. So when you receive feedback from refunded users, from paid users that are not satisfied, you say that this feedback will help you to improve more. And so we base our work on this framework that's mainly focusing on lifetime deals, collecting feedback from them, building and improving the product. And after a few iterations, we can go to the market and we can invest effort and time and budget on the marketing, because we know that we collected a very good amount of good feedback and accuracy that helped us make product more stronger.
Well, I want to touch the point of negative feedback because that's important. As for free users, I want to SaaS Insiders to pick this up as well. It might be not accurate to collect feedback from free users because they're not paying for you. So those are not your ideal customers. So if you'll be focusing on their feedback, chances are you probably get more of them. And when the free user uses your product and says it's amazing, it's like, that's BS. If you like my product, pay for it, you know?
Yeah.
I don't need the feedback. I need the money, you know? Like, pay for it and tell me what's wrong with it. That's how I also agree with that. But as for the negative feedback, that's one point is, I see a lot of times founders, when they create a product, when they launch it, if they don't know how to use feedback and they hear a lot of negativity, they think they suck as a founder and the product is not working. Can you tell me why negative feedback is better than just vanilla, I don't care about your product? Like, why negative is actually better?
Because mainly when you are on the market, firstly, you push the products on the market based on your thought, on your problem searching, and on your first validation. But with a real product or real MVP on the market, you are not sure that if the product fits or not. So if you are receiving just feedback, because even when you go for big product like Facebook, TikTok, or other, you will find a negative feedback. You will find that there is features missing. There is features that are not working well. And how this can be possible that you are launching a product, every feedback is amazing, every feedback is great, and you are just at the beginning. Maybe there will be a good amount of good feedback, but if there is no negative feedback or aggressive feedback, just you should pay attention, because there is something that is not going well, because there is something wrong. So because when you go for free users that is just here to test your product, or just here to take a lifetime for free, or take some features for free, mainly he will be not losing his time telling you the every features with the remarks. So he will be just telling you that the product is good, just so he can stop the discussion with you or stop the conversation with you. When there is a paid users, at this time, he pushed his money in your software. So if he is aggressive and he is using maybe a bad word, this is the scenario that we are looking for, because this scenario will help us to know maybe the product is just a shitty product. because for our products we try mainly and always to avoid validating them on the market, but in opposite we try to invalidate the product. To invalidate the product we should receive a lot of negative feedback, and because these help to maybe pivot the idea at the early stage. It's like you are building some futures that are not the right futures, and the negative feedback let you pivot your idea, pivot your product, pivot maybe all your problem that you are fixing at the beginning. And this is very helpful at the beginning. And there is always that between lines, when customer is being aggressive and negative, between the lines of his words, there is some keywords of futures, some keywords of things to fix, and this is where the attention should flow.
Got it. There's one golden nugget that you dropped, and I want all the SaaS Insiders to hear it as well, just to make sure they heard it. It's, you said that basically when people pay for a solution and they're angry about it, it means there is a real problem that we're solving. We're just not doing it right, and people are telling us what is wrong, compared to when no one gives us any feedback and they use like the free features and it's just plain, and the feedback is just plain. It means there's no real problem. People are just dabbling. They're just trying to save like 1 minute of their time by using your software, but there is no real problem. There's not something that they would be ready to open their wallets for, let alone, writing the whole negative reviews. So that's super important, and I want everyone to pick this up, that negative feedback is much better than just plain it's okay feedback, because plain feedback doesn't give you anything. Negative gives you things to change, things to
inputs.
If you were to summarize, maybe just like a sentence, how does a quality feedback look to you? Like, let's say you've collected the feedback, you've got some lifetime deals, and you've got some criticism, you've got some good things. How can you look at this and say, like, this is good feedback, I can work with this?
Yes, and by that, the good feedback could be also positive. But the most accurate positive feedback is that coming from paid users. If there is a paid users and telling you a positive feedback, it should be taken into consideration. So this may be an accurate feedback. And to resume that, so at the early stage, mainly when there are negative and aggressive feedback that are coming from paid users mainly, or users that have paid and asked for refund, those are maybe a high quality and high quality inputs for your next iteration of the product. And then later, when you are not in the early stage, to know the high quality and accurate feedback is when there are specific about some parts of your software. They are telling remarks very, very pointed, and that are coming from users that passed the time inside your software, not who just registered and bounced from your software. So if there is a user that passed one day in my software and tried like 5 features, and when he is telling me about a feedback about a future, I know this might be a high quality and accurate because he passed time. But if there is a user that accesses the dashboard, tried the one feature like 2 minutes, he exited the tool, whatever he will be saying, it will be not accurate, especially if he didn't try anything in the software. So there is some users like he will access only do the registration. He don't do even the validation of the email, and he told you about a feature inside your software that he didn't try it. This is not maybe not a high quality feedback. It's the high quality feedback is mainly related to the profile and persona of the users, if he is paid or not, if he is registered for some times or not. It's like maybe there is some who prefer to get feedback from users after a few days of the registration. So I will be sure that they have passed some time inside the software. Then I will be asking them like why you are not returning, why is there a problem? I see by example that you generated a document or used a feature and didn't try another feature. This discussion might lead to get a high quality feedback.
So the way I understood it, and I want to make sure I got the right notes, is that how do I know the feedback is quality? Is it if it comes from people that committed in some sort of shape, whether committed money to your product or committed time. They might be committed something else. It's something that they've invested into, spend something with you, money, time, whatever. And now they actually care about the product, whether in a positive or in a negative way. And then we can call this feedback high quality. Is that the right understanding?
Yes, exactly. And we are taking all those feedback from multiple channels, putting them into a backlog of features. Maybe at the beginning a backlog of feedback, and we do some treatment. We do some research about this feedback to group them by priority, group them by users, group them by kind of feedback, by positivity or negativity. And after doing all this equation, we will have high quality list of feedback that are really grouped by prioritization, and then we can pick from them the most accurate feedback that were most asked by users, or they will be the input of our backlog of features for our next release of products. So we will take those first feedback in this list, push them in a backlog of future, work on them, improve the product, push a new release, collect feedback from this release, and refresh or upgrade the backlog of feedback. And this is a wheel that is in a continuous improvement. Every time you are changing the backlog of feedback to use them in your next backlog of features or on your next sprint to improve your product to the market with a new release. And this is how we will be in a parallelism with the market, and we will know that we can't be far from the market fit. We will be just in the same way to arrive at the product market fit.
I have one question that SaaS Insiders might have as well to you, is if I'm collecting all this feedback and I'm trying to make it as quality as possible, I'm filtering out all the freebie feedback, people, dabblers. I only focus on people who committed something. I see some conflicting feedback, meaning some users wanted the one way, other people wanted the other way, and it's kind of cannot be aligned. You cannot do it like in both ways at the same time. Have you had this ever happen to you, for example, when there's like some conflicting feedback on a feature? And if so, how do you manage making the right decision in this case?
This is haven't arrived, but to deal with that, I may see there is some solution. Maybe you can do an A/B testing to check what kind of feedback that might be converted to a future. I will be reaching the users who ask. There is maybe users that are paying and the users that are not paying. But if there is the same user persona, the same user profile, bringing the same feedback, but the feedback are conflicted, I may say to push an A/B testing with a new product, two product version, and try to test to even you can avoid to build this. You can even do a demo or do a fictive inclusion of the future, test with users what will be working, and at that time we can find which one it's more accurate, it's more demanded, it will be more useful for the users. Because if there is these two groups of users, we may be to put their feedback and put a vote with other users that are even not concerned with those features, but they will be helpful to decide. Because you have users that are giving a conflicted feedback, but you have another group of users outside there that can help you decide, because they are not building just for those two groups of users. You have other groups, and those other groups can help you decide which parts of the feedback you should take into consideration.
A/B split testing, ladies and gentlemen. Good old A/B split testing. If you have some conflicting feedback, one of the things to figure out is simply test both versions and see which one will resonate better with your core audience. If you were to give one most important advice to our listeners today on collecting user feedback, if there is like one thing, one sentence, one phrase they need to take away from this call to make it worth their time of listening, what that advice would be?
If I have to get to give one most important advice from all what I said, I would say search always the negative feedback from paying unsatisfied users who maybe have done a refund, and then you can focus on the users who are proposing or asking for some features, but never put the main focus on users that tell you that your tool is great or amazing. They maybe can be driving you to the hell without you knowing, especially at the early stage.
Got it. Got it. It's sometimes counterintuitive, SaaS Insiders, but negative feedback really shows you what's wrong with your product, really shows you the areas to improve. Ayoub, we have this community that we call SaaS Insiders. It's a group of SaaS founders and VCs, actually, that we work on making this market a better place. And we all want to know a bit more about you as a person as well. Not only as a professional, but also as a person. If you would like to join us, they would need to know a bit more like who you are and simply what you like, right? So we can connect better.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, what's one activity you enjoy outside of work that gets you in a flow state, meaning that lets you disconnect from what you do and lets your mind rest?
I would say it's mainly football, not the American football, the Moroccan football. So football, like I'm playing 2 to 3 matches per week. In addition to that, there is movies. Those are the two activities that help to go out from this area of work to another part to that help you go into flow state later.
And when you say football, you mean like soccer, or
Yeah,
it's
it's soccer.
okay,
Yes,
got
it's
it, got
soccer.
it. Sasan Sars, our guest today is from Morocco, so in their meaning, football is not rugby; it's like a
Yes.
soccer. So we're multicultural community here, so all gotta understand what's
Yeah,
going
it's
on.
a keyword that will have many meanings in everywhere you go on the world.
Absolutely. What's the one piece of advice you wish you would tell your 5 years younger self? So if you were go to back in time and only had one piece of advice, one phrase to say to yourself 5 years ago, what that would be?
It's to avoid perfection and take action, and that as soon as possible, as fast as possible, because perfection is the enemy of productivity. If you are looking for perfection, that you are just putting more time to deliver things, more time to ship, more time to build. So one thing I learned, especially when I went into the entrepreneurial career, is to avoid perfection and ship as soon as possible, because it's not a problem to have in the software industry, it's not a problem to have bugs, to have problems. You can always fix later, but always to learn these high quality skills that it's avoiding perfection.
Love it. I love it. What do you think are some of the biggest challenges that you're currently facing as a founder, as an entrepreneur, that stops you going from the next level, that keep you up at night, that people could potentially help you with? In this community, we build it in a very helpful community way, meaning that if people see the problem that they can help you with, they can reach out and actually help you move forward. So if you were to think of one or two places where you currently need help, maybe you need some specific people, connections, maybe you're stuck on something, what that would be so that people could potentially reach out and help?
I would say, as an entrepreneur, you have many challenges that keeps you up at night, and this is so normal, because without those challenges, you are not living a good entrepreneurial life. So if I have to check one that really keep me up at night, is the time, and especially the time management. Is that you are asking why there is no 30 or 40 hours in the day. So this is a principal challenge, and this is mainly related to delegation, because you don't want to delegate for people and keep doing the babysitting with them. You delegate and put a lot of time to explain for them things.
Mm.
Yeah, so at the end, you come back and do it yourself. It will be mainly the delegation for high quality people that can help you on some stuff like sometimes the support, sometimes the assistance, like those tasks. You in the majority of time you want to delegate them to someone and forget about them, not try to do the babysitting and try every hour, every half of an hour you have a question. Then it's better to do it yourself. So this is
Got it.
one of the challenges we are living.
Can you think of a specific nature of tasks you're looking to delegate? Is it just some general VA tasks or some really specifically about sales, about development, something
Mhm.
specific?
We have a lot of requirements about development in
Uh-huh.
the dev part, but maybe we are always with the wrong person. So
Mhm.
we prefer to do it ourselves. There is sometimes you have just a future that need to be done quickly. But when you give it to someone, there is a process, there is a discussion. There is the most advantage of small companies, small software is their flexibility. And when you are on the market, if user is asking to add, like by example, a button, when I'm drinking my cup of coffee, I will add this button. And it's okay for another company that is a competitor for me and have like 100 people in the backside. They will have to do a whole process of testing to include this button, and this is an advantage between me and the big company. So if we are delegating tasks, I would say maybe a bad person or not the good one, we will be losing this benefit and we will be losing this advantage. So
Got it.
we want always to be flexible with your product on the market, because what help you and give you a point more than the other big companies is your flexibility and ability to ship.
I agree. Staying agile is definitely gives you an opportunity to be the first one to solve that small problem that people would appreciate. Ayoub, what do you think success means to you today? And this question is not specifically about business or life. It's just if you were to define at this stage of your life, what would mean to you to be living a successful life today? What that would be?
I will say two things. Mainly, the first one on maybe on the personal side is to be able live the freedom financially, geographically, and temporally. And by that I mean that you are living with passion. You are doing what you want, when you want, as much as you want, with whom you want. This is my first thing. And the second is to be able to create an impact, like we are now talking on the SaaS Insider podcast. And the main vision and the main reason we are here is to bring value, to impact people, to help them, to bring from our modest experience and share with them what we know. Because if someone is will come back after years and say thank you, you helped me with these tips, it will be a success for me. It's success is not always about the money or about things that are physical. Success maybe you are helping someone in a way or another. This are a great success, and always the impact with our software or tools. Maybe I will be in a vacancy or in like a Colombia or Argentina, and when I'm on a coffee and I will see someone using my software and my software is reducing his pain in some areas, this will be a very high success, more than money, because money is something that came secondly. There is this impact, this value creation, this give first philosophy.
I appreciate your contribution. I appreciate it, Ayoub. Where can founders get in touch with you to learn more about you and what you do? We will be leaving those links in the description of our episode, so everyone who's listening can actually click on them and connect. So maybe you can give a couple places that could be useful.
Yes, it's mainly my social networks and especially LinkedIn. I'm a bit more active on LinkedIn, and there is my website moustaid.me. So I'm sharing a few things there, and
Awesome.
welcome anytime. It's moustaid.me. It's my website.
We'll put it in the description. There's one thing I didn't mention, but I really want to touch this point is what kind of resources you used to elevate your entrepreneurship and your thinking. We are reading books, we're listening to inspiring speakers. Some of us have mentors, and we're impacted by those people, by those books, by those shows. If you were to name three biggest impact creators for you, it can be a person, it can be a book, it can be any other resource. What would those three would be?
Okay, I will tell you four as a bonus. I will add one. So
Let's do it.
for the books, I might say there is the Compound Effect. It's a really a great book. There is Lean Startup by Eric Riel. It's also a great book about lean startupping. And there is for a person who is really inspiring. There is a Peter Levels, and then his great book called The Make is doing a great job. Is just changing the philosophy of building products and shipping. And for the community, I would say a big fan of the indie hackers. There is a lot of value there. There is a lot of great people there, a lot of great inspiration, insights, and products. So it's something I usually try to explore, to read. It's a great community.
I know those resources are great because you're not the first one on this show who mentions those about the compound effect, the lean startup, the indie hackers, the community. It's been mentioned quite a few times actually. So we definitely got to look into that more to learn. And of course, links will be in the description for you to check out SaaS Founders at any moment when you're ready. Any last thoughts, any last things you want to say when it comes to user feedback, when it comes to SaaS entrepreneurship in total? Like, how would you like to wrap up our talk today?
I will repeat firstly to thank you for the invitation, and I will hope that listeners have got some value, even if even a little bit that might be useful in their projects and their tools. And to sum up, I would say that please avoid the perfection. Please talk to the customer as soon as possible. Ship as soon as possible. Just build and ship, and the market will tell you if it's okay or if it's okay or not. Because nobody will matter about how you are building, what you are building, the way you are going to the market, what your tool do. The most important is why you are building. If the customer will love it, what the customer are thinking about it, why they will be using it. And those questions you can't answer them if you are just with your laptop in your closed room and waiting to ship a product after months. Just talk to the customer. Even without a product, talk to the customer. There is a lot of steps for the feedback. There is the feedback in the pre-launch. There is feedback in the launch. There is the feedback after launch. So the feedback is a continuous wheel that never stops, from the first idea that came to your mind till the exit of your product. On the whole process, you should be focusing on collecting feedback and treating them.
Ayoub Moustaid, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing this feedback with us. SaaS Insiders, we appreciate you connecting to our talk and listening to us today. We'll see you on the other episode of this podcast.